Okay. Main. Alright, let's try and get this finished today. So what was I doing? I guess I was doing some quick block into this. Did I do the shoulders? Is that track to a parent? Or parented to a track? I think it is. Cool, let's pretend that that's the case and operate on that. So the left or right arm, do I have a group of right arm? Yes, I do. Awesome, alright. Because I'm going to reposition this. Right here, and then I think there. So we're going to go with this bend. That is a big manipulator. So, where is... I guess it's not super bent right now. It's like somewhere over here. What is this music? That can come down the rest under the shirt, actually. That can come down a lot lower. The camera's really big. I want to shrink that down. Going to shrink this for a second. Sure, I'm alright with that. So I'm gonna find a place to plant the fingers. Also, this hand just looks absurd. That's what I get for not like trying to model him and just using some random body with different limb shapes and stuff. Oh well, that's kind of why I'm cheating and doing scales and stuff. Also, did I scale this before for some reason? Or did I move this over? That looks like I moved that over. I'm gonna bring that back. Oh yeah, that one super extreme part, huh? And these look like I've lengthened them up for some reason. I don't remember why. Also some bad painting there. Just gonna rotate these forward because I don't want to go overboard on don't want to go overboard scaling this stuff. I'm only, again, if you take your time, take images, photos of your talent and shoot photos of them, make a better model of them. You won't have to deal with scale as much as I am. That's the nice part about when you're provided a rig. Oh, that one was quite a bit backwards anyway, okay. Kind of want a little bit of bend to this. Also, the fingers have a bit of bend. This should also... Don't like the axis on these joints. Again, not what I'm good at, but just know enough to make things deform. This stuff like this, I'm gonna make it fit later. You'll see how. Also, I want to bring that in. Again, all this stuff, all these imperfections are going to be corrected later. His fingers are kind of fat. I should have selected them all, scale them uniformly. Again, yet another issue that hopefully you wouldn't come across if you were provided a rig that was modeled. All the problems that I come across within these past few streams are because to do this properly requires a whole lot more work. And I'm speeding through this and making a lot of bad errors. But, you know, I'm not a modeler. I'm not a rigger. I'm not any of this stuff. I'm just crudely doing what I can because I don't have access to better stuff. Okay, so I'm going to keep this whole pose. I'm going to select all of my joints here in the arm and key all channels. Shift W-E-R. I could hit S, but I think S key is a little bit extra that I don't want to. So let's maybe get this pose here, the very first frame. Also, while I'm here, let me reset the wrist angle, kind of. Very, very crudely. Everything here is crude. There is still a little bit of bend in the arm, so I won't do that. Let's bring this right back. I shouldn't do it like that. That's our arms don't do that. So there's a couple bones in here, I believe, that allow your arm to do this, but it's all in here. And you know, the rotation's a little unnatural up here. Like, you would have a better rig to do this more realistically, but whatever. This is for match move. If they're doing something for effects, I'm doing a little bit more than is needed for some parts, or at least I will in a moment, but it's not too bad. Okay, where is this going? Right here? Sure. Whoops. I shouldn't move it like this, but again, shape of my model. Let's bring the palm, the base of the palm over here, back of the hand up there. And let's see what kind of modifications I have. I want to get these little joint ends to match with the fingers, so I could make sure everything's moved this way. Which way is my hand facing? Oh, it's got to go this way as well, which helps it a bit. A little bit more. Just moving this out of the way so I see things. Okay, so I think I can rotate this way. We'll get this finger here, this here, and this one here. And so there could be a couple issues here. It could be the actual length that I've scaled on those, whatever those are called. Or the hand could be rotated and, you know, wrong length, which is bound to happen because, again, this is just a random model out of Maya's library. So for my fix, I'm honestly just gonna do that. Because what I'm showing this for the person who wanted this series of streams, does not need any more level of perfection in the model or in the depth of things. So this is very okay to do in this case. I gotta bring this one down a bit more. We're not too far off from passing this through. I have no idea where this one's supposed to be. It's also too far ahead. So let's do that. Bring that forward. I think it lines up with the joint. I think. Oh, why are these fingers so massive? These ones are massive. I don't remember doing that. Let's just make them somewhat more reasonable. I can't remember why I did that. I don't remember what I did a couple weeks ago. I got very busy and had to leave this. That joint does not line up. I gotta shrink this one down more. Again. Oh, very dirty. Very, very dirty. Whoops. If you do anything at this speed, no one will hire you. Again, take the time, model your rig properly, scale everything, make sure it matches your human. Because scale is going to mess up one part and it's going to ripple all the way across your rig. And you can see it all happen as I rush through all of this. Thumb. Thumb. Clean that up a little bit, I guess. Not a good way to do it, but whatever. And we'll actually move it over here. Then rotate it there. Is the thumb straight at least? Yeah, it's kind of straight. It's a little thick. That could have been corrected on other frames as well, but we'll see. Oh. Let me just go to my first frame before I do too much. Select all of this. Key it all. Translate, rotate, scale. Eh. Trying not to break his arm too much. Not good practice. Here's some of that scale I had earlier for some reason. Let's take all of these. Okay. Where's the thumb? I can fit this arm better. But I want to fix it with a cluster later because I don't really want to move my wrist like this. I guess I should. Yeah, let me just move the wrist like that. Okay. Key it all again. All of it. Why does it do that? I'm not good at animation. I don't know what's causing this to move like it is. It's rare that I have this because, again, I don't usually mess with full body rigs. If it's something like this, usually doing it with IK and a shoulder thing, which I can't make myself right now because I don't remember how. That shouldn't be rotating that way, I guess. Why does it want to look like that? Oh, unless I broke this too, which I could just use this. Don't really want to do it like that. No clue what that thumb is doing. At this point, I don't even know which way is front for the thumb. But again, I just want to speed through this. Just want general fit for like lighting, maybe a little pyro interaction. So I'm not too concerned about which way is front for the thumb. Okay, and I guess I'm gonna see that weird kink again that thing that I, don't understand fully. So where is that? Oh, it's not too bad actually, okay. Let's go do this frame. Okay, we're gonna stick with that. Key it all. It's kind of nice. The closer that you get all this, the more that things are just gonna work with small adjustments like that. All the in-betweening work becomes a lot less work as you go on, so long as your poses make somewhat sense in space, which mine don't, because scale things, model things, again, keep saying it, but I gotta stress that if you can, take images of your talent, model it all to scale, make sure that all the digits are at the same or proper length, because not everybody has the same length and shape of hands. Spend more time painting weights, doing better joints and stuff if you need to. If you can, add controllers and stuff. Like, that's stuff that I'm not particularly amazing at. Again, I just know enough to get by when I'm desperate and in a pinch. Oh, that finger's rotated. We'll bring this over here, then rotate this over. Okay. Same with this one. Match the base, work your way up. The thumb here. I want to do this a little bit. Bring this out. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. The arm. This arm should really be out there, but I could do a whole shoulder cluster thing later if I want to. Okay, everything. Key it all again. Let's go right here. Select the arm and the forearm or whatever. I move it out of the way sometimes so I can see where the bases of the fingers are. This could be a lot better. Actually, this should be over here and the finger should rotate. Not that that makes a huge difference in my case. Might have to do that weird translate again down here because of these weird fingers. I can't see what the thumb's doing. Key it all. We're getting real close. The major shapes are getting figured out at a somewhat okay rate. And then I'm gonna do a lot of very fast cluster work. And again, very fast. I'm not taking time on this at all. Where's his finger? Oh, it's over there. I gotta take this hand. Bring this all kind of this way, maybe. It's close. There we go. It's close. It's close enough. Not gonna kill myself over the perfection of these parts. So this part I'm gonna scale out, rotate it, scale this pinky down here. As long as you're not doing like not like crazy stuff like this. Just try your best to keep things in a realistic space. Again, take your time, don't be me. Trying to stream ROTOANIM is not fun to stream. The arm, I'll fix that later. Move the arm over with another cluster. Okay. Everything. Key all channels. Oh no, what did I do? Undo. Wow, I deleted a bunch of bones. Oh, I see a poppy joint right there. Because this arm wants to be back here. Very annoying thing about this is, you know, I'm doing this in FK, so if I mess with the arm, I gotta correct everything downwind. But it's fine, because every little micro piece of detail is going to be changed with cluster stuff. As I start to get in between every other frame, I'm actually gonna slow down on this stuff. Not get too aggressive with scales and all that stuff, because you'll see what I do with a cluster in a moment. That's looking all right. Gotta remember to keep selecting all of this. Key all, and I'm gonna go back to some of these, make sure that I key all channels. Fix that one later. Oh, let me make sure I keyed everything. I think I forgot to. Yeah, I forgot to. Right now I'm watching the fingers here. They slide down right there. Key them. I'm not looking for an amazing fit at most of these frames now. They're going to be a part of my cluster fix. I'm not going to go crazy with the thumbs and stuff, because I'm at a point where, like, it's not really amazing, but I'm going to do the last, actually this frame I'm going to mess around with. I'll leave those height adjustments to my cluster. Bring this one over. And let's just do some little adjustments between this and the arm to line up the hand. Not worried about any micro pops here. Otherwise, I'd be stabilizing on the mesh. Let's hide this arm over here. Let's just do a little of that. Bring it down. I'll just extend that out a bit too. I'm gonna really quick and dirty tuck this arm out of all this stuff. Oh, that's fine. Something you usually also want to do, I don't have second monitors available right now, so this is something I haven't been doing, but usually if you have a second monitor or something, or more space to work with, make sure you watch how things move on another screen. Yeah, you can see from my perspective and weirdness, my arm like does this weird lengthen. Also, his body is so weird. That's fine. Here's that scale that I had to do for this and my crude painting. You look so funny. And the legs, of course, they're stuck on the spot, so his body just squishes down. It looks funny. Guess I could move this, huh? Because he does a little crouch here. Just to make him look a little less silly. Put your little fireball on here or something. Also, this arm is just absurdly long. Also, the hand is just massive. I know I had to do a whole bunch of adjustments to this. Again, challenges of working with a model that doesn't match. But what's nice is that things are stable, so if you did effects to this, effects aren't going to do like weird, crazy, bad stuff all over the place. I see a weird thing. What is that? Is that just a little visual artifact? When I was zoomed out, there was a little flicky tick there. Don't see it anymore. All right, and I'm gonna call this part kind of finished. I'm just gonna rough in the finer part just to show that, so I can kind of wrap up this long stream. Again, ROTOANIM it's not fun for me. I don't do full body stuff often. Like it's known at work that I'm not the best at full body ROTOANIM. I'm good at doing individual limbs and bodies, individual limbs and objects and like hinging stuff and like weird stuff. But bodies, I'm kind of bad at working my way up hierarchies. But, you know, if I take more time, I will admit I'll do a better job than this. But for a stream, for a bunch of streams, I just don't want to be spending my free time doing all of this. All right, let's do the next thing. So finer detail. What do I mean by finer detail? So I want to lock down maybe the fingertips, base of the fingers, maybe the palms. I want to start fitting some shapes here and there. So I'm going to start from the most important areas and work my way up. So right now, I think we're going to lock down the hand as a whole to like an area in the palm, just to stabilize a track, which is going to ripple up to all the things. How do I do that? Let's select a ring around. Oh, no. Okay. Do I get an edge that goes around? That's weird. What weird topology? Here we're going to do this. That, and this. And we're going to hold control, swipe top right. Wait a minute. I guess I could just... If I want to make it easy... No. Okay, and I'm gonna bring this up a fair ways actually for the cluster selection. And now I'm gonna go spacebar to form cluster. And this cluster now, oh, let's hide everything. So this cluster controls the arm to a point. Actually, you know what? Let's delete that cluster actually. And let's extend this selection all the way up the arm. I should just use the hotkey instead of swiping this. Oh well. Okay, now let's make the cluster. Okay, so this cluster, I made it all the way up the arm because I'm gonna go into the paint controls. We can take smooth and we can flood. See, this will take forever to flood it all the way up, so I'm not going to do that. But if I go get rid of everything, come and paint in some stuff. Nothing left behind, hopefully. Okay, now that I have this, let's go smooth. And let's just feather this out as much as we can. I should just hit flood. I'm going to hit flood a whole lot of times, so this is going to take a moment. I'm just trying to get it to creep up the arm and creep up both ways. Okay, that's probably fine. All right, so I'm going to grab this cluster. Now we got the arm doing this. So at this point, I'm kind of not caring about the skeleton. In fact, I'm also going to move the pivot over here. Not that it matters, because the pivot's not going to follow the hand, at least not with this method. So, why do I want to do this? I want to stabilize on a point on the palm now, and we're going to go frame by frame and lock down the hand. So to lock onto a vertice, hopefully you have some sort of stabilizer script installed, and I'm going to go create locator, and the locator I'll bring somewhere close to the area. It doesn't need to be exact right now. I'm going to select the mesh, right click vertice, select some point in the area, then shift select your locator. Now go to constrain, point on poly. And now this locator, if you have a stabilize button, which I do from work, and I also have HK tools, which if you Google, you can download this and you get a stabilize thing in here. It's not a button, I think, but you have to hit Shift Alt C. You also got to cycle through the hotkey button and make sure at the bottom it says you're in HK tools hotkey set. And then Shift Alt C, you can lock onto this, but I'm not going to use this. I'm going to go back to my tools and stabilize like this. There we go. All right, so if we lock on, we can see the hand doing this. It's not perfect. So now that everything's blocked in though, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go frame by frame, which it's not as long, it won't take as long as you think, and stabilize the hand here. So you see if I go around, I can move this locator and make sure it sticks on his skin. And to make this even easier, you can treat it like a tracker in Synthesize, where you hold Alt and use the arrow keys on your keyboard, and now you're nudging the hand. So let's just do that a little bit better. Wanted to do it quickly with the mouse just to show you it's not very perfect. Also, I don't want to see the joints right now anymore. So show, joints, off. And I don't want to see the manipulator. So hit Q, and when you hit Alt and, you know, period comma to go frame by frame, you could still use Alt and arrow key to nudge without your manipulator. Kevin, where are the ladies? Hiding somewhere. I don't remember if I've seen you here before. I don't know why. But if I haven't seen you before, hello. I cannot wait to be done this ROTOANIM. Okay, come on. Sup, dog? Haha, sup. I'm doing alright. I'm tired. Very boring topic going on here. So, really not a whole lot of interest for it, which is fine. But getting this out of the way for someone who is doing this exact type of shot. And just showing my rough, choppy method. Oh, that hand needs a better fit. Oh, that's fine. I'm going to call that done. Okay, so I did 1 point to roughly stabilize all this stuff. Kevin, what are you trying to accomplish here? So I don't know if you are subscribed to the channel or not. I assume because nobody would really find the Track VFX live channel. Not many people have, but doing a ROTOANIM, at least my version of a ROTOANIM. I'm not the best at this, and if you don't know what that is, ROTOANIM is in movies. If you've watched like Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord, there's a scene where Star-Lord takes up Yondu or Yondu rescues Star-Lord. They float up into space, and he puts an aero rig and a flight suit or something. He puts some flight suit or something on Star-Lord to save him, so he has air up in space. And this blue force field like goes and wraps up around Star-Lord. Like any kind of effects that needs to happen to a live action actor, you need to make a 3D representation of it, and then you got to do your effects on that and composite it over top. So with this, we could put a force field on him. We could put some, like, maybe put some CG rain and storm that has to collide with him, blow around. Only watch Squid Game. Oh, I gotta watch that. I really gotta watch that. Everyone's watching it. I'm too busy to sit and like just watch because I gotta read subtitles. And I always do something while I watch shows, but with Squid Games, I have to actually watch it and read. And I don't wanna look at the dub. I wanna offset this a little bit. I want it to fit like this. Now that I kind of have a stabilized point here, I'm going to make one more on top of this so that I can do a very gradual motion on it. Not a great practice. I don't really feel like painting this arm this time. I'm just gonna flood smooth for a little bit while I take a drink. Why are you using CG? Why am I using CG? Right now this isn't CG, but I'm doing this stream to show another viewer who isn't here right now. This other guy's doing a shot where he's gonna fire a fireball out of his hand. I heard they made Fat Carrie Fisher look decent in Star Wars. Oh, that's terrible. Well, I think that was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they did any augmentation to her. Of course, for the young shots, yeah. But yeah, this isn't CG. Someone's doing a fireball, shooting out of a hand, and yeah. And because of that, you want to do some effects on this. So you have a mesh that you can work a fireball off of. You can light the hand, and well, yeah, that's about it. How is shooting a fireball out of your hand not CG? You asked me why am I using CG? I'm not using CG because I'm not doing the effect. I'm doing a match move for someone who will be using CG. Yeah, I'm not doing the shot. But yeah, the fireball is absolutely CG. Come on, Flood. I wish I can turn the strength up on this Flood, unless you can. Is that what this is? Is that what this one is? I'm not going to bother messing with it yet. And I'm fine. So take this. Okay, I'm going to find one of my good frames. Over here, I kind of like this. And I'm going to key this. Come over to this side. Drop it down. I kind of lined up the hand again. There we go. So I have a very general motion bringing that hand back. And we're going to fix all this ugly little sliding stuff in a moment. Oh yeah, Carrie Fisher passed away years ago. Yeah, they had some weird, like, they had to do some clever camera work and digi-double and face replace stuff and whatever to get her into the other movies. Man, I wish the arm didn't look like this. I'm going to do a really crude stabilize on this arm. I'm going to go control right click, swipe up. And heard she did a lot of drugs? Oh, I don't know. If she did, that's a shame. I don't know anything about that. Not a big follower of just Hollywood tabloid stuff. And I could not care less about what they do. So let's go. What was I doing? Constrain? Nope. No, I was coming to deform. Cluster. This cluster, I don't think I made it big enough, actually. I might have just did a bad job at this part here. We'll see. Oh, I went far enough. We're fine. Probably. Let's go replace, turn this down. Oh, nope. Hold B. And zeroing out all this with 0 values. Why don't I make video games? I have no idea how to make video games. I've messed around with Unreal Engine, but I don't know how to do blueprints. I don't know how to code, program. I don't know how to animate. I wish I could do that stuff. That stuff is so cool. I greatly prefer most games over most movies, and I would love to do games, but it's a lot of, I don't know, it doesn't require the type of work that I do. I'm a match move artist. Do not want all this thumb, so get that out of here. Okay, I probably did a bad job at this yet again, but let's see. Actually, it's gonna get some of that out of there and smooth this out. A lot of smooth. Okay, so now I have a general thing for the wrist. Oh, my drink kind of settled and looks really gross. Nasty. You're basically making all the cutscenes for Call of Duty with this stuff. Oh, I wish. Not really. Oh, I haven't seen a Call of Duty trailer in a while. I don't know if they're good or not. It's been a while since I played Call of Duty. What about the Far Cry game with Gus Fring from Breaking Bad? Oh, I'm not into Far Cry because I thought their games were really cheesy. Far Cry 3, it was amazing. I watched a friend of mine play through it. But the other ones, I just thought were really bad. They turned real people into digital. Yeah, that's doing the full scans and stuff that they did. I love seeing big actors going to games. Wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Kind of like seeing Ellen Page or if you want to call her what I can't remember. Willem Dafoe in Beyond Two Souls. Who else? I know we don't talk about Kevin Spacey anymore. I know he was in Call of Duty. Can't remember what other actors they put in the video games. Oh, Until Dawn, they put a whole bunch of actors into those games, and they're kind of big. Rami Malek is in there, scanned and modeled, textured and everything. I don't know if they do all that for most Call of Duty games, or at least any of the other characters. I think the Joel from Last of Us guy, Troy Baker, is actually scanned and modeled into, what is it, Advanced Warfare? But yeah, Far Cry, putting Gus Fring in there. I can't remember his name. But that's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool actor. Kevin Spacey is a trailblazer. Ooh. Was he like one of the first guys to do a major digi-double? At least at that height of success in Hollywood, I guess. Oh, this arm is a little annoying. Not too bad. Have to fix the finger in the back of the hand there a little later. Help start the whole Netflix thing. Oh yeah, he kind of kicked off the whole Wasn't House of Cards one of the biggest shows at the time? Or one of the ones that kind of made Netflix look like a big deal? I guess so. Ooh, that arm looks real bad. Oh, I kind of messed up the hand too. Why would I do that? Ah, well. I was going to move on and do some fingers. Yeah, he did Call of Duty as well. Ah, I don't like that. Looks terrible. I'm probably going to do 2 clusters on this finger. It was a big star to go to TV series and Netflix. That's right. I never got into House of Cards. I tried to watch it. just wasn't quite my thing at the time. But he was phenomenal in it. Some of the stuff that I've seen him of in there was pretty great. Why won't this select anymore? Why does it stop with the finger? That's new. What did I do wrong? Why does it halt here? That is interesting. Unfortunately, not that interesting. Okay, cluster again. Back in here. All right, let's see. Right click, paint, cluster, and 4. I don't like half of this. Blast that out of there. And let's go smooth. Dump a couple smooths in there. And there we go. I can fix the finger a little bit. I'm going to correct the tip mainly, and then the base of the finger I'll fix later. The current state of the industry is basically because of him. It's kind of a fair point. Yeah, that might be a fair point. I never really thought about it that way. You notice people don't go into movies as much as they used to. I don't know what the numbers were pre-COVID, but I could assume that during COVID it had an effect. And also most movies are kind of pushing their schedules as well. So we're not seeing as many like amazing movies as we likely would otherwise. Definitely wasn't a whole lot of like crazy good movies over the past year. At least not that I remember. But I don't know if we're talking pre-COVID, post-COVID. They're even talking about turning James Bond into a series. Oh yeah, that's right. I've heard that too. James Bond's another one I'm not super into. But I've seen most of the movies, just haven't seen Spectre and then upwards. But a series? A James Bond series? Does it work for a series? I thought James Bond, the whole point was to be like one of those other like blockbuster kind of spy thrillers or something. I have no clue. Eh. Okay, I gotta stop this cluster at this angle, I think. Oh, maybe not. It's keeping the correct space. Awesome. I'm gonna keep going. But my fixes here are gonna be rather crude because I just want this done. Okay. So we got a pinky. Oh, that part's kind of ugly. So close. Man, I wanted to avoid doing so much on this finger, but I guess it's not that bad. Kind of doing general shapes to stabilize the stuff. Finger's kind of stable. If I unlock, take a look at this. Got a pretty cool looking finger. Yes, but technically it is a series already. Each movie is sequential. Oh, I can't pronounce things right now. Each movie is sequential in time since Daniel Craig became James Bond. Yeah, that's a good point. Raid from the one and only Nelson. There a Nelson? I'm not too sure who Nelson is. Also, I don't know what rating. I don't understand rating all that much. Because I know, isn't rating basically sharing your audience at the end of a stream? I think that's what it is. I don't remember. Nelson Animation, hello. Hi, Nelson. Good to see you. Just trying to knock out a ROTOANIM here, and I'm not the best at animation or rigging. I just kind of know enough to get by with match moves, so did some very crude and dirty things here. Because somebody wanted me to do this so that they can do a shot with a fireball. So roughly demonstrating some stuff here very crudely. That is exactly what it is. Kevin, is this your job? Oh, Refugio. Yeah, we came from Nelson's stream. Nice. That is awesome. My job, Kevin, I'm a senior match move artist. And I've done work on stuff like, I've given Wolverine his claws for X-Men Apocalypse. We've done work on Terminator Dark Fate. Trying to think of what other projects that are out that I can talk about. I can't remember a whole lot. Time flies. Refugio Nelson is the best ZBrush artist in the North Pole. In the North Pole? Oh, I wish I was better at ZBrush. I would love to do a little bit of sculpting. Like right now, what I would love to be good enough at Blender that I can stream this stuff. But I'm just currently trying to learn everything that I've learned in Maya and ZBrush over the years. But I would love to be able to start doing some sculpting stuff on stream in the future. But I suck at sculpting in general, so it's something I really got to learn into. I would love to see your stuff, Nelson. I'm gonna seek out your stream here soon, because I really want to get heavier into sculpting. Revicule, is this Arnold? No, this is Blender. This is Blender. To be specific, this is Blender 3 point whatever with Cycles X. Cycles X they kind of implemented recently, and it's awesome because it's finally getting up to speed with other render engines in the industry. There are things that it struggles with still, which is weird, but it's pretty awesome so far. But Arnold's cool. Love Arnold. You hate Arnold? No, I love Arnold. I like Arnold. But I haven't used it a whole lot. When I first used Arnold, I went to some talk with some CG supervisor who did like the Avengers movies, and they were talking a whole lot about Redshift, and I actually had a copy of Redshift at the time because I was convinced by something before that I just don't remember what, so I had a couple licenses. But then I went to this talk, saw everything they did, and I delved heavily into Redshift and ditched Arnold. But yeah, I have nothing against Arnold. I actually really like how easy Arnold is. Let's grow this. Wow, that's slow. No more swiping. No more marking menus. Okay, I'm going to stabilize the tip of this finger. Put into cluster, right click, paint, cluster, paint, there. Refugio, how much is Redshift? Redshift? I don't remember. I bought my copy like... Okay, so this is like two homes ago. I've moved twice since. I got mine 2 years ago. I don't remember what it cost. But if I remember correctly, it's cheap. It's not as expensive as other render engines. Oh, this is such a bad smooth. Actually, it's not too bad. It's working its way up the finger. I could have painted that, but I don't need to go into detail. I just need a soft fall off. Like, is it affordable for hobbyists, or will I break the bank? I think it's affordable. One sec. That couldn't have been that hard to find. Come on. Where's Redshift? Oh. Wait, is it monthly now? Oh, that's annual. Oh, it looks like they changed their pricing model. I don't know. I don't have the time to look at that right now. But yeah, I'd probably give it a Google. God bless you for doing Googling for us. We appreciate it. Honestly, my Google didn't work. I Googled it, but the pricing model changed, and when I clicked annual and monthly, the price was cheaper monthly than it was cheaper annually than it was monthly, so I got confused, and I'll be honest, I gave up because I just want to finish this finger. So sorry, I kind of gave that up. Kevin, that's a weird spot coming out between pinky and ring finger. Look closely. Pinky, actually, there's weird spots all over the place. As I go on, I'm stabilizing some of the key areas, and then once key areas are stabilized, they'll inherit the motion of whatever it is that I'm match moving. And then, hopefully this stuff will inherit that motion, and then when I tuck this all in, clean up these edges, they all should work a whole lot faster. That is my theory anyway. That's kind of what I've been working with in mind for a couple of years now. I'm a senior at a studio that has started up a couple years ago. It's a new studio. And I didn't really have any seniors to talk to or any courses to find online on this stuff because nobody teaches it. So I kind of had to figure it all out. So most methods that I do is just stuff that I've messed around with, and I kind of hope it works. Usually, you might be provided nice, complex rigs at larger studios. But in my case, I usually have to make stuff myself. I don't usually do a body. I don't usually rig actual full bodies because I'm not good at rigging. I'm just doing this for the sake of showing the guy who wanted the stream. Yeah, it's not really my thing. Wait, why was I talking about that? I think I lost my train of thought. Am I in Hollywood? Nope. North Hollywood. FAQ. I picked a book called Maya at a Glance. Ever heard of it? Would recommend a different book? I don't know, actually. I learned Maya in school, and then once I was out of school, I continued learning it just off of YouTube tutorials. So I've never jumped into a book. I'm not good with books. I struggle to read a lot. Have a mental thing, which, you know, to whatever degree affects me, whatever used to affect me as a kid. Not so much now, but it's still there slightly. But yeah, I get very... I can't read and keep my attention on it very well. So I don't know how a book would be on Maya. North Hollywood Ghetto? And I'll take North Hollywood Ghetto. I'd rather be most other places than Hollywood. I don't want to be in Hollywood. I really don't want to be over there. North Hollywood is Canada. Fair, books are not the cup for everyone. Yep, especially when the software is so massive and you get this thick book. Usually, if you want to learn something, you don't need to learn everything about a software. Most artists in the industry are not experts at their software. You've got an animator, he only knows how to mess with the joints. They know the art of, you know, act. They know how to act. And, you know, they know a lot of technical, like, constraint stuff, like stuff that heavily borders on rigging. And I guess depending on where you go to school, like some animation places teach you proper rigging too, I think. But yeah, most Nuke compositors don't know Nuke very well. They know all the surface level stuff and it gets them by in their job. Same with Match Move. Like a lot of Match Move artists, there's not very many like super highly talented seniors in the world. I don't know where I would draw myself. My job position is senior. Doesn't mean that I have the scale of seniors in any other studio. But wait, why was I saying this too? Oh, books. Okay, yeah, that's right. If you get a book, like this thick book, like I don't really want to study the whole thing or even most of any topic on it, because you can Google and find your path in it and learn the thing that'll get you a job, and that's what most people do, and they do pretty well. But I'd rather just seek out what I can rather than go through this book. And I know there's a glossary, but even with glossaries, you can navigate to a chapter, but maybe you've learned some key words somewhere. Somebody brought up a thing and you heard about it, but being able to search online, whether it be a digital manual from Maya or even just YouTube videos that somebody placed in tags, you can seek out the thing that you want to learn. It helps keeps you motivated too, because if it's something you want to do, it's much better to learn something when you have a goal. And if you want to learn how to do fire, I mean, it's going to be easy for you to Google pyro and a few other keywords and land you exactly where you need to go and see 100 different variations of people doing different methods to achieve the same effect, which I doubt a book will give you. I doubt a book will say, here's a fireball, here's 100 different ways to do it. They're probably going to tell you what the tools are, which is honestly very, very important. It's very important to know what the tools are. It's like, hey, here's the hammer, here's the house that I got to build. Now, how do I use this hammer? The hammer is not good for everything. It's certainly not good for everything. There's 100 other methods that are needed or otherwise required to build this house. Books are inefficient. However, books can teach you things you didn't know needed to go. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you read it chronologically, they're usually pretty well structured. I need a drink. Andre Meal? I think I pronounced that right. Oh, I missed a few messages. Let me read some of those. I tried to lie to myself that each page is a long text message. Each page is a long text message. That's pretty good. Fair advice. Andre, hello, folks. Refugio, hello. And Kevin Bookser. Okay, read that. Sorry. Refugio, you sound very experienced, sir. Thank you for streaming. Oh, I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. I've been doing this for about 8 years, but I haven't been to too many studios and places, so I kind of hope some of the stuff that I regurgitate is useful. I like watching talks on many software and seeing how it can relate to match move, because if you learn what the effects are, you can better cater your match moves to whatever's needed. Okay, I gotta do some more of this. Oh, I finished this finger. Cool. Kevin, I can read an entire book that I have a strong knowledge on the subject and still pick up a few things. Oh, same. That's like my favorite thing to do is what the software that I primarily am really good at is Synthesize, and that's usually what the streams are on this channel. I occasionally gloss through the manual because I find buttons in Synthesize that I don't know. I search them in the manual in the PDF and it finds me the area where I need to be. I don't just read the topic. I usually read the area that I'm in to find any features that surround the topic, and there's always some crazy buttons in every software. Especially things like Blender, even Blender with a million hotkeys for one single thing. But yeah, there's always something to learn. It's always exciting. Oh, I gotta blur that weighting down at the thumb. That looks really bad. We got some geo sliding over itself. Okay, but first, let me go and finish the middle and the index. Shift period, grow selection. That's right click, paint, cluster. Ah, Maya, why do you separate things like this? And I'll go smooth, hit it with a couple smooths. Back over here. Okay, Revicule. So I had this approach of studying Maya tab by tab, tool by tool. You think that method is inefficient? Actually, no. Hold on, where's my Synthesize? Whoop. Oh crap, I dragged another icon. So when it comes to synthesize, over here, let's open this up. Whoops. So synthesize. Where's my other stuff? Is this even the most recent file? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, anyway. So, synthesize. The way that I was learning synthesize is I learned as much as I could from some coworkers at my first job, and I watched some tutorials online. They had some courses downloaded. But that was all surface stuff. Like all these tutorials, they teach you very surface level stuff, and there's 1,000 ways to achieve any shot in Match Move. So it didn't really help me all that much to watch tutorials. I started learning what the tools were, and then I played with the tools and guessed what they might do. Like what I did when you say tab by tab. I need to bounce out, dog. Peace. Peace, Kevin. You enjoy it. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, RefQL, I used to literally go and like track what the hell is cross-linked by name. What is that? Selected, pre-roll, all this stuff. Like let's say sticky. I always used to go user manual. I would find all of this stuff. I would launch it. Control F, type in sticky. What is sticky? And now handheld sticky, here's this. But now prediction modes and handheld shots. I read, you know, then you would start reading all of it and maybe just advance on a little bit, see what you can find. But that's, yeah, that's what I do. I think that's good. Cycle through some tabs, see what some buttons are, because they'll bring you to a section. It won't just tell you what the button does, but you usually will get a description of what it is, why it works, and maybe a mathematical little explanation on it, on why it might break other things. I think that's a very good way to do it. That's what I did. And then Google it. Yeah, Googling's good. Hey, Googling's always good. Well, depending on who you find, sometimes you might find a bad instructor. That's the one thing. As much as I love software like Blender, I love Blender, but many of the tutorials that started out years ago with Blender, there weren't a whole lot of industry professionals using the software, so all the tutorials were hobbyists giving a lot of bad advice and opinions on the software and critiquing other software that they never learned or touched. There was a lot of that going on. But yeah, depending on what instructor you land on, right? I should be stabilizing on these fingerprints or fingertips. Found a channel called Maya Toolbelt. Keep getting that dry throat. Usually for streams, I've started making tea for myself because I get a very dry throat easily for some reason. But I didn't think there were going to be many people talking during this stream because nobody tunes in for the ROTOANIM streams too much. What was I doing? I found a channel called Maya Toolbelt, a 10-minute episode about each tool or so. If anyone likes this method, check it out. Oh, I'm going to check that out. I am definitely going to check that out myself. That sounds amazing. Those types of tutorials are just incredible. Getting there. Okay, other way. Again, if you want to be perfectionist, stabilize in the tip of your finger. When I say stabilize, what you're going to do is, I have a script for it, but if you don't, download HK Tools, and you can change your hotkey set to HK Tools hotkey set. There's a button here for it. And then when you have the hotkeys, select locators, objects, trackers, select them, hit Shift, Alt, C, and you're going to stabilize. I don't want to use this one, though. I have a button from work that I like. So first, you need a locator on the fingertip. Some scripts can lock onto vertices. But in this case, I have to make a locator. So create locator. I'm gonna snap it up to a fingertip. No, well, I'm gonna snap it to the area or bring it up to the area. I'm going to go vertex mode, select the point, then shift select the locator. Now let's go to constrain, point on poly. And now I could select this locator and I could stabilize on it. And again, if you have any stabilizer script, you can use that. Benefit is when I move this, when I go frame by frame, it's gonna adjust and stabilize just to the tip of this finger. So I can better see if it's sticking or not. I don't really need this level of detail for this stream, so I'm only showing it for this one finger. Yep, man, I wish I could do this in Blender. As far as I know, you can't stabilize in viewport in Blender like this. Only in like tracking and 2D modes. Sorry if I babble too much. Finding my people like you on Twitch is harder than finding Drake. That's pretty true. And also, don't worry about it. I like the chatter. I just wish I had tea or something so I can not get a dry throat. So I can talk more. Love talking. Okay, I'm gonna ignore this finger now. And let's unstabilize. And let's cluster up the last finger. Try to knock this one out quickly. And now shift right click paint. And Maya's divided it again, so where is 7? There we go. Oh crap, wrong way. Smooth. And probably fine. All right, let's try to knock this finger out fast. No stabilize, just brute force. Oh, come on. Keep going. Sometimes the nudging is a little bit slow, so I'm just going to mouse forward. Ah. Some people might ask, why aren't you matching the finger here? Get in the center of the motion blur. Thumb. Get the thumb out of the way. Ooh, that's kind of too far. Whoops. Thumb's probably going to be the ugliest part of all this. Thumb is such a weird shape. If we have autopilots, shouldn't we have some programs that can do the tracking? Is that some exclusive house programs for big boys or non-existent for big boys? Autopilots. If we have autopilots, shouldn't we have programs that could do the tracking? We do. Tracking. So the thing with tracking, it's hard to explain with a shot like this, but this shot can actually be auto-tracked. I can very easily come over, run an auto tracker. I could have hit the big green auto button, which does a solve for you as well. So all these points, these little blue dots here, or well, now they're green. The little green specky ones, they track well enough in a shot this easy that they can track, hit a calculation by itself, knock it out of the park. But most software, there's not a lot of software out there that can handle intense motion blur because they don't even know what they're looking for. When the image gets mashed up, it takes a human eye to actually recognize what's happening. And when a camera is to turn and come back, it's not very often that software will find the same features again. It can. You absolutely can make software, and software exists that does that, but not really for a solving software for some reason. It's usually for photogrammetry. Photogrammetry can find details in all these crazy angles. Yeah, you can automate a lot of tracking, but there's so many types of variations of shots that are impossible, and it's hard for me to say why. A lot of people will say that, a lot of people will tell you that, oh, eventually it's AI and machine learning is going to take all this stuff away too. It's hard to explain why we can't read every type of detail and tell a computer what it is for every single type of shot. And due to noise and compression and soft details and warping and all this stuff, you're always going to need a human to guide it if there's some automated process. But even then, I don't think we're going to be able to automate too much more with certain types of shots. Some shots we can definitely get better at with automated processes for sure. But I don't know. I don't think there's any in-house software that can handle things fully automated like you're saying. Mostly we just have better scripts, which are, here's a bunch of things we do. Well, let's make a menu with a few buttons that isolate some of the tasks. So we select the things, hit the next task, do the other things, hit the next task, and it's done, rather than us going through the whole web of, stuff. But as far as I know, there's no in-house software that's kind of a magic bullet for everything. Yeah. I hope that was a decent answer. Refikil, so you think we are far from losing these jobs to stinky robots? A little ways off, yeah. Again, it's hard to explain because I need extreme shot angles and very specific conditions for me to demonstrate why some machine or software can't do it by itself. There are certainly some types of shots that I don't think will ever be able to be done. This thumb, okay, I'm aware this thumb is doing this thing. I kind of don't want to care. I'm very over this shot. I put too many streams into this, and I want to move on to interesting topics and fun stuff. Because yeah, I'm kind of bored with this, but also, again, usually not many people check out the ROTOANIM stuff that I do. And definitely needed to get something like this out. So it was good that I did this, but I'm over it. Okay, did I just roughly knock out all the fingers? Is that done? Okay, let's do some really fast fixes now. Like really fast and get this out of the way. Okay, so first, let's fix the weird crevice over here. So I'm gonna go maybe this here. These are gonna be very crude. Actually, you know what? The way that I have this set up, will this handle a sculpt? Let me just do some soft selection and see if it sticks. Oh no, it's going in weird directions. Okay, that's fine. So I'm gonna go this. Let's select over here and grab that. And let's come around, grab a few points like this. I'm gonna grow a soft select 1 and get a cluster. Now we're gonna right click, come over, what is it, cluster 8. Now, what are we on, 9? Cool. And let's go smooth, flood, a couple times. Oh, I should paint this, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'm gonna replace it with the value 0. 1 finger less, who cares? Let's call it an artistic taste. I very much agree. Very much agree. That's also kind of the thing with Match Move is hopefully you are in a position where you can talk to your artists and cater your Match Move to what is needed, because so much time is wasted in Match Move because people don't fully understand. Oh, that's kind of ugly. I should probably paint something like up there, get this down a little bit. You know what? Let's not. Let's just do this, and it should stick there decently. I'm doing this very crude, but again, you can take your time on stuff like this, but these are little small fixes that are easy to figure out, and they depend entirely on your own topology. So not much that I will do fixing this will apply to anybody else's shot. There, a little fix there. And careful when you move, like I moved this at a very weird angle compared to where we started. So make sure that you kind of monitor your mesh here. And make sure that there isn't some crazy, stupid, ugly poly thing mess that you did and, you know, weren't aware of. Yeah, so be careful of that. Let's see. That one little fix should stick through this whole thing. Yeah, it kind of does. Okay, and if you wanted to, you could take your time and select a bunch of stuff over here. Like you could do this, grab the finger, make a cluster, right click, come to paint, and 10. And replace the value 0, go back to 1. Brush in very fast stuff. You don't need to be amazing at this. And sometimes I like to give that a little bit of thickness. So I'll come around here. There we go. Because when I smooth, I don't want this to just erode away. So if I go smooth a couple times, good. Now we can move this, and now we can fix the finger here. And you can adjust the stick across your shot, of course. Make sure that it's always nice and snug in there. And if you need to, you can paint some more influence on some vertices, because it's kind of ugly here. I'm not going to do much more fix on that. I'm going to ignore the fingers, honestly, but that's how you would do it. So let's do some bigger stuff. What is the final product? He gonna shoot something out of his hand or something? Yeah, so the reason I'm doing the stream is because a member of the Discord wanted me to. Sometimes people submit shots or topics and I'm like, hey, can I stream that? And they're like, yeah, cool, sure. Somebody, Render House, has a shot where he wants to do a fireball or something coming out of a hand. And he wants to do it in, I think he's gonna do it in Houdini. And you know, sometimes you need a mesh so that you can have dynamic lighting that you can comp on. So you get a mesh for it. You get the head and some of the body so that you can get some light cast. And then, you know, you can warp some of that light and comp and roto and do some roto grading stuff. And yeah, so this is kind of for lighting, maybe some effects, particle interaction, drive the fire. Maybe he wants to light his hand on fire as well. You could certainly do that with this mesh. It'd be really cool. But yeah, that'll be the final product of the person who wanted this stream. If he gets around to doing it, which would be awesome to see if he does it. Let me go tuck this bottom in. Just select a couple vertices. Expand selection. I can't see this. Let's go 4. Okay. Smooth. Good. And now I can do this part, tuck that in. Reficule. Ooh, great job. Nice. I appreciate the great job. And come on. Tell me I don't have to do a whole lot of the work on the bottom of this arm. Oh, thank you. It's going very nice. If you need a texture stick for kind of match moves, you definitely got to spend a whole lot more time on what I'm doing, because sometimes you gotta, sometimes they need mesh to stick perfectly for actual, maybe you got veins or something, some creepy vein effect. And yeah, you need to spend a whole lot more time with this mesh. Stabilize on a lot more points of the mesh. That's a lot of work. There's a lot of shots I've had to do like that. I'll fix the arm here with a bigger gradual cluster. But first, let's do the top of the arm here. expand this out. And let's go with another cluster. Paint and 12. Flood with 0. Paint up top. And let's hit it with a smooth. And there we go. Bring that down. Oh, I'm so close. I can call this done here pretty shortly. So close. I cannot wait. Ooh, that's looking satisfying. Let's give this a watch. Oh, it's looking cool now. Ah, I was kind of worried, honestly. I was kind of worried this would come out looking like trash. Spent like 5 streams turning out garbage. Doesn't look too bad. Okay, let me fix the giant kink in the arm. There's a thing like right here, his arm doesn't line up because I couldn't really see what it was doing under the sleeve. Also, I got impatient. So let's take the arm, come over here, and I'm gonna go face, select mode, select a ring, select up, and let's go. Actually, let's go another loop up. Back to cluster. And rather than erasing it all and painting outwards, I don't want to paste in that kinky piece of geo. So we're going to kink shame and paint this out and then smooth it. All right. Oh, let's get rid of that. I don't know why. I didn't need to, but whatever. Okay, now we're going to go smooth. Belt it out a whole bunch. And let's see, what does it do? Nice. And now I can fix this. Hey, nice. Usually I like to go and find all the good frames I don't want to touch, like this here. Actually, let's adjust that. I like that. Oh, I can fix all these areas with this too. That's pretty awesome. Oh, look at that. That is satisfying. Okay, this is going to be a little unrealistic, but whatever. This is fine. Nothing unrealistic here. I'm bullshitting this part a little bit. And we'll nudge it up here. Look for any areas that we can nudge. I'm watching the arm out of the sleeve right now. Oh my god, did I just finish this? Do a countdown before you say done. Oh crap, I think I just finished it. I missed the countdown. You using the arrow keys to move through frames that quick? Oh yeah, so here's what I do. I'm just going to show in Synthize real quick first. In Synthize, how you work really is, let's say if I place a tracker and you stabilize, right? So you can see. But if you go S and D to frame by frame, you're tracking. So I'm going frame by frame right now, right? But you can nudge your tracker with the numpad arrow keys. So right now, I'm nudging it like by pixels. So very precise. So usually I track and I nudge, right? And if I have keyframes on my trackers, you can hit, like if I go here, place a couple keyframes, you can hit A and F and jump between these, so it's fast. So in Maya, you can replicate all that and go very fast as well. So you select anything, you got your keyframes, right? You can use Alt. So Alt, period, and comma. You know period and comma have the left and right arrow on it? So hold Alt, and now you're frame by framing. And while you hold Alt, when you hold Alt and use the arrow keys, not the numpad, the actual arrow keys, you can nudge. So if all you do is keep on holding Alt and period and comma, so you frame by frame, and you can nudge. Also, if you let go of Alt and use period and comma, you can jump between the keyframes here too. See, so very fast movement and very fast adjustments. When you have the stabilizer script, it becomes very powerful in Maya. Okay, so I think I'm done. I'm pretty sure I'm done. Yeah, I think I'm done. For the sake of the fireball effect that this guy's going to be doing, this is all that's needed. I don't want to spend another couple of streams trying to micro stabilize every point of the mesh, because what I did on the hand where I stabilized on vertices and, you know, watched it and nudged it and made the skin stick, that's the process. You just got to do it a whole lot more. Like, I can lock under the arm and see the mesh sliding up and down the skin. This is good for lighting, shadows, effects, contact, like smoke's gonna blow over, things that don't stick to the arm. This is good. This is actually a little bit better than the typical ROTOANIM that we would give to an effects artist, let's say. Yeah, it's a lot more work to do a texture stick. And of course, you know, you can mess with the body, do all that other stuff, and nudge the neck in. Actually, you know what? One quick thing. Let's do this just for fun. One more. This neck here looks real ugly, so I'll expand that up. Space bar. Oh, I painted the nose funny earlier. Oops. So we'll go to form, cluster, and come down to paint again and find the newest 14 cluster. There we go. Oh, I full screened everything. Let me get out of there. Control space to full screen in Maya. Let's flood it and paint in a big chunk of neck. I'm going to hit 4 so I could see. And come and paint around the back side of the neck just to make sure there isn't any leftover faces that won't move. Oh, God. Oops. Smooth. Flood. Okay, is that going to look decent? Can I move that? Okay, yeah, see, it looks a little better, right? Kind of fill in an area. So you can do gradual fixes like this for most ROTOANIM. Because nobody ever really needs super precise. It's rare that an effect comes along that you need a super precise match ROTOANIM. Some people will try to argue that and say, but oh, well, look at stuff like Green Lantern or shots or movies where the actor is all CG body. I mean, yeah, but a movie like that is not very common in the scope of all the movies that we work on. So yeah, you can do fixes like that all day. It usually takes a few days to do something like this precisely. So it depends on what you're doing. Reficule, we are done. Just one more. You have that mentality like me. Yeah, I do. It's a fun mentality. It's a blessing and a curse, right? Where you know the task is done and what's needed is done, but there's kind of that drive to maybe impress or maybe just to impress yourself, right? Because there's times where something's got to be satisfying to me because I hate it going out. Or I'll admit there's times where I've wanted to just show off to a client. You know, we all have a bit of ego, especially in VFX. If you're in creative art in any way, and somebody comes along and says, I do it for the art. Well, no, there's a small part of it that's ego driven. You can't have no ego. I have a bit of it. I like showing off. Who doesn't like showing off? Showing off's fun. So long as you don't get into like gloating territory and bragging, right? Like, I don't know. I like when other people are excited about their work too. I like when people show off to me because usually I'm pretty impressed with people. So, you know, if it's tempered, if your ego's like tempered and in check, who cares? Showing off's fun. I like seeing cool stuff. And I like showing cool stuff. Anyway, why did I ramble on that? That was dumb. Okay, me and my dumb opinions. Okay. Yeah, be proud of your work. Number one rule. If pride should be in anything, then it's your work. It's go. Oh, exactly, man. Exactly. Okay, well, I am kind of done. So really, I'm just gonna jump over to this end card. If anybody has any questions, I'm gonna linger just for a moment here. So if there's any weird thing, I actually don't even know if people are watching because I don't have a view counter this stream. But usually the ROTOANIM don't really have many people here to watch. But yeah, if there is any questions, I'll be here for like just a few more seconds. Oh, my ears hurt from wearing my headphones. These are awful headphones. I need to get something new. throw these in the trash. Well, no, I wouldn't throw them in the trash. I'd give them away. Also, I really should have made tea. My throat is so dry. It's so hard to talk. Refuel, make Maya Q and streams. Make Maya Q and streams? What's Q and streams? What's a... Oh, a Q&A on Maya? I don't know if I'm... I actually don't know if I'm like... I don't know if I'm like good enough in Maya to do like a Q&A on Maya. Because like... Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of fun with it. But... I don't know. Maybe. I do want to do some more modeling, but modeling these days, I'm learning how to do it more so in Blender. I can do all the modeling in Maya, honestly. It's the same thing. You model in one program, you model in the other. Oh, I could totally do that. I can do modeling. I'm not good at animation. Maya's big thing is like animation, right? I can UV pretty well. I can somewhat model stuff. I can do deforming a bit, rigging a little bit. I'm not very good at it, but I can do basic stuff. I don't know. I don't know if I can really do a Q&A on Maya. I'm a little scared to do that. Aliasing. Always use... Oh, by the way, if you're doing match move, always use aliasing. Don't look at jittery lines. It'll trick you into thinking there's pop in your track when there isn't. Use aliasing. Get them clean lines. Whoops. Get that out of there. Not a lot of people use the marking menus. Like, the marking menus are so good, but whenever I see new people in Maya, or even like some veterans, they're always like going up into these menus and they're using these shelf tools. Like, why would you do that to yourself? You hit spacebar, you have everything you can hit full screen. You don't need any of that. Spacebar, every possible thing Maya can do is here. And then you have north, east, south, more menus, west. You hold control, you got all these selection methods, you go into them. It's so good. Even like you select stuff and you go control up, right, swipe. You can select perimeter. And like what's nice about the marking menus, man, is that you could do swipes like this. Swipe. Oops. You could just swipe without even seeing the menus. Like Maya is so efficient on stuff like this. I even argue to some people that it's faster than Blender in modeling, but depending on who you ask and what add-ons they've bought or downloaded, they'll say that Blender's faster, but it's the add-ons. Blender's gonna kind of turn into Maya eventually. It's gonna turn it into a skeleton of a whole lot of other plugins that made the software great. That being said, base Blender can do a lot more than Maya, I think. What's it doing? Oh, yeah, let's get back out of here. Whenever you get the chance to work on trying to bend an already existing object to a pre-made curve, attempt, hook me up. I'm not even sure it's about... Oh, yeah, that's right. Were you the one who I was talking to about that? I forgot to look that up. That's a good point. I'm going to look that up. That is a good point. RefQL, I mean you get to practice safe. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, was you? Nice. That's a good point. I got to figure that out sometime. I'm going to play around with that maybe on Monday. All right, so I'm going to slip out of here. My ears are sore. I got to get these headphones off. All right, later. Thank you for watching.